talk through the MySite. This is a partnership with Washington University, and they provide to teach kindergarten through 8th grade science. It is an inquiry-based, hands-on project, which is exactly. This is a one-year contract. We've had this program for, I think this school year will be our 4th year. In my knowledge in the past, we did not actually formally evaluate this program. So the intent is this year that I will formally evaluate the program by having the students take the pre-test before they do the units, and then also the post-test to measure their growth and to ensure that this program is effective in doing what.
Board docs.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, we've had it for, I believe, at least 3 years.
Okay, any other motion? So it is published and we're, question. It is, I'll entertain a motion to approve the MySite program as presented. Board docs. It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same privilege. The ayes have it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good luck with the program. All right, item number 7.02, Moolah Tablet and Internet Program. Mr. Seth Hurd.
You're right. Sorry, I didn't realize. I'm going to briefly recap what we kicked off over the weekend and also go into a bit and around creating positive PR for the districts. About the actual tablets, I think it was to take a look at. So my name is Seth Hurd. I came in because I know some individuals in the district and was able to connect the NSC with a program that we kicked off on Saturday at Beyond the Backpack. That should give away up to $10 million of free materials to the community. And I was asked to look at the overall strategic communication that we could roll out through the district after the talk. Very high level look at the attention and also tap into quite a bit more money that I got. So when we look at the PR the district has received, I just pulled this headline up. You paid for it. Normandy School District faces questions about its spending. Now, if you actually go into the article, there were two things that were happening. There were here, and then the reality that this is 2023, and building stuff costs more. Last couple of years, anything you build is going to cost more, including, obviously, things to do with education buildings. That's not what most of the public is going to be. Difficult situations were handled because of the increase in costs. They're just going to see a headline that says, you paid for it, Normandy School District faces questions about its spending. So then the question becomes, what do we do about that? We create an overwhelmingly positive message and then just keep that out there for an extended period of time and take control of what's being put out about this. Okay, so counteracting years of bad PR, I'm very into here just before came in, so it was a fresh outside state, okay? And what we see here is something that I didn't see as a former reporter. Us gifted with resources that can do a lot of positive stuff without needing a lot from the outside. And so I started to wrestle with the question of what can happen without the outside justification too much to really create positive impact for the district. But forward here. Okay. And the answer is that we can tap into our graduates as they, finish up the high school system and dive into an entire new chapter around what's possible. I'm proposing that you move forward just like you've got a mission statement for education, you've got a mission statement for graduates. And to encourage we've got plenty of real estate that is available beyond. And we can get students in position to be able to purchase real estate younger than the national average, especially when people are waiting around to buy houses because of the prices skyrocketing. Okay? So what that looks like is creating some messaging resources to get our graduates, working in high-paying jobs and into houses as quickly as we can, which is going to level up to the overall strategic communication of the district. We done? Okay. Digging into what Gen Z wants when we're looking at overall the communication that we're putting out there. 72% of Gen Z students want to be entrepreneurs. So what can that look like for NSC? We can look at doing a coffee and co-working space available to recent grads. That's something nobody else would be offering at this point. So if you want to start a business right after high school, this community can empower you to do it and give you some space that we could just be able to use for our own resources. And what that looks like is, as you become successful as an 18 to 20-year-old, you are essentially ready to buy a home because you've got the full-time job and prices are out, you're able to get in right away. And we're seeing a lot of first-time. Some of the cosmetic stuff is off of YouTube, right? That's going to increase values. And it's going to create businesses that are more likely to stay here, generating taxes that can go back to feed the districts. As we just spoke about here, we can also have students come in and actually run it would create some passive income, giving students real-world experience. There's also been a vacuum around co-working space. So the closest one is down in Del Mar, and that's about a 15-minute drive. As more and more people working from home, they may be in a situation like, I'm in myself, where I've got a 1-year-old, and I don't know if you know anything kids that age that tend to be a little bit very, very noisy. So sometimes I'm looking to rent space even for a few hours to go have a meeting or to be able to do a video conference call where I know that I'm not going to be interrupted in the city. And right now, the best thing I can do is drive about 15 minutes away. Opening a co-working space, not only do we encourage businesses to start here with their own graduates, but we actually create passive. Higher ed and trade partnerships. This one actually is something that I'm sure a lot of you have heard of. Mike Rowe is encouraging a lot of students to go into the trades. We don't hear about it as much in school districts themselves, although there is a bit of a message here. There are 2.5 million skilled trade positions open right now. A lot of those are 6 figures within 4 years if you're working overtime. A neighbor of mine who is in the ironworkers union that I've had some conversations said that they would love for anybody who could filter down qualified workers to help connect them. And that hasn't traditionally been something the districts are looking at, but the business community is absolutely screaming for that if they're just looking for workers. The big thing there being math proficiency. And so if NSC can write students who are ready to earn income right after high school, they can show good math proficiency, those jobs start at $40,000 as an apprentice, and they can go up very, very quickly. And the demand, even during a little bit, uncertain times, as we're probably going into a Q3, Q4 recession, even if we hit a recession in building in St. Louis, the ironworkers aren't going to dip because there's just not enough of them. So the old idea that, the economy goes up and construction is a great thing to be in, and then we get a bit of a recession. We are now at such a shortage of workers that even a recession does not give us too many construction workers, too many skilled trades. So the business owners and the people who are working in that are just screaming for somebody to come alongside them and partner to get more qualified people in there. And NSC is needing to do that. Again, those are jobs that are going to encourage people to buy. They hopefully, if they can, we want to share that message for them to grow, flourish, and invest here, stay in the community, build. Jump to the next one. That, just to recap what I just said there, within 2 years of graduation, to get into home ownership and to achieve the American dream. As rent equity, if you're just renting, that's not going into. So if you can start that at 19 or 20, that is an excellent situation. I'm going to just hit the last couple things here. On Saturday, we rolled out Move Up, which is a program attached to an FCC grant to give away free tablets and free internet for anyone who qualifies. We have already had 200 hits on that. If we can move 2,000 to 5,000 tablets, we're going to give away $5 to $12 million. There is a $10 million STEAM grant that will help connect the district with, and we can do a kickoff call tomorrow to start the STEAM program in January if this is approved. Then we're going to create major PR moments by launching podcasts. And then take those students who choose to go into the trade and treat them like one athletes, where we have a signing day that rolls out in front of the media and create a really big deal for students who are going straight into the trade and to really celebrate what's going on. We just talked about the co-working space, the network. And then what we are able to do here is want to impact national policy and state policy is to track the results of our graduates into these positions where you're be able to create a national case study around that would elevate the district to a place it's never been. My name is Seth Hurd. Thank you so much for the time.
Thank you, Seth. Questions?
Yes.
Good evening. If there are resources available,
So the STEAM grant is $10 million.
renewed,
Yeah, with no direct cost to the itself. And it's from a Princeton graduate. If this is something you want to move forward with, he's ready to have a kickoff call tomorrow at 12:30 so that this can be in place for the January term.
thank you.
And how much of that do you think you could actually target for the school? No, you're not saying all 10 million.
Yes.
Oh, you are?
Yes, they all $10 million. That'll renew for 3 years. At the end of that, this STEAMworks program is currently working with the Bezos Family Foundation to try to get another 3 to 5 years after that. Yeah, it's funded for 3 years through ESSA funds.
I think one of the things, your proposal appears to be multifaceted because start out with the tablet and, providing an internet source for families that don't have it. And I think if it's to approve that, I'd like to see some other of the operational pieces, because right now we're kind of looking at a 10,000-foot level of what this overall proposal would look like. So,
Yeah.
Once you start to put some true leather on the concept, I would love for you to come back, to the board as you move forward with this.
Yes, absolutely.
I do have another. How much space would you need, because it mentioned about having like a cafe, and how much space would you need to, as a space to start?
And started to do the coffee and co-working. The only thing I identified was that in the headquarters. So there is a vacuum of coffee places, that will be drive-up coffee.
Questions because and I was going to ask that question. The old thrift store.
Yeah.
That probably is on that one school district.
I don't think it's on my list.
It's not on my, because I passed by and I often wonder, they gave them the opportunity to have the children go and paint in front of it and look good from the outside, but what can we do with that property, how can we utilize that? And so when you mentioned about the coffee shop, my first thought was that building, because it's in a normal, it's in a normal district.
Yeah.
And maybe that would be a good place. But that's why I asked how much footage.
Yeah, it would depend on how much you wanted to build it out, and how they wanted to go on co-working space as well, and bring in rents to. Yeah,
But I also heard you say, at Drive-Up, were you at the former bank building at that space on the first floor, was that?
that was my first impression, would be to go get sales just from people leaving Pasadena Hills and Pasadena Park. A lot of communities have like scooters, coffee, or something like that, that's just dedicated drive up, it's fast service. There's nothing like that around here, so you can get all the things.
Is there a risk of trying to downside earlier?
Yeah,
Can you speak into your mic, please?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just asking if there was downside, is there any risk?
is there any risk well, I guess I'll try to speak to each one individually. Coffee and co-working, that's probably something that I suppose there would be some sort of risk there as far as the other programs that are either tapped into in the process. This is an FCC grant, it's $14 billion. So students who signed up on Saturday, the internet was $60 a month, and the drawdown on that, $14 billion. So going to take so long, if a family signed up on Saturday, that child will graduate from high school. There's really no risk there, that's FCC and that's guaranteed. With Steamworks, they have not had an instance where that they've had out of pocket. So I've been in conversation with them over the last 48 hours, quite a bit in preparation for this, and they're essentially sure that they can lock this down and they're ready to. That $10 million also covers hiring teachers to be to do something on work here to run this. That actually goes through their payroll, so things like that.
I guess a couple of things as you were talking, I heard a few pieces. My mind was involved with some level.
Yeah.
Because if we have tablets that are in the hands of kids and families, one of the questions is that, is there any thought about having any kind of software into those so that it limits kids' access to certain sites as they utilize that? That's one. The other one that I heard in coordination was that you were talking about actual messaging around media stuff. So as far as Chris Trayvon is concerned, I'm sure his antennas went up when we started talking about messaging. So we want to make sure that if we do approve this, that there's a level of coordination that we need so that everything is integrated and moving in a common direction.
Yes, absolutely. To speak to those individually, so Moolah Mobile is actually rolling out the software for student-specific tablets. So right now, we signed families up over the weekend as a supplement to the family, okay? And, goes directly to their home. We are rolling out some software that can be updated to where locked down a little bit more if it's going to be only used by messaging. I wasn't speaking specifically to, the individual PR tactics as far as a reporter or certain news doing. I was speaking to the fact that, in my opinion, as a former, the market has not treated the district very well, even the district is one, the headline crafted like that. And from the media industry, what you've got to do there, it's just be so good and can't ignore it. Just keep coming out with so much content that is so good that the public perception for the whole county
One other question. You made mention about $60 a month.
No, that, there is no cost. So, that's what's covered through the FCC grant from AT&T.
Okay.
So when this comes in the mail, you turn it on, and it's good for a year. At the end of a year, as long as you as a family qualify for $1, then you turn it on for the next year. And that goes until the $14 billion is spent, which it's hard for me to fathom how long it's gonna take to spend $14 billion, $60 per month per device. There's no cost whatsoever. There's no cost to the district. These are $300 tablets, and so one of the things that we're hoping move a bunch of them, and then we're able to say to the community, to the media, the true statement that we moved $12 million of resources into.
I did have some comment. District having worked with technology in the past, I think one of the concerns, and this is a real practical concern, we want to make sure that technology is used for educational purposes, because we've had times in the past where technologies ended up in pawn shops.
Yeah.
So we want to make sure that, to guard against that, to try to minimize that, because we do have a number of those, in the surrounding community. Resources made available. Don't want to see it squandered in that way.
Yeah. So for this, it's a bit more, we do a bit more of a deep dive on tablets. On the STEAM program, there's actually take homes for the students every day. So they're able to take home a project every day that they're in the program. It's probably $10 million, right? Those materials have been developed by Harvard, MIT, Stanford. And so that's not, if you're, creating something at home to learn, that's certainly not something that's going to wind up in a pawn shop. That's so specific to you getting educational and career development.
I'm only more thinking about the tablets than anything else.
Yeah.
But I guess the other piece of information, we talk about the scheme, you have the science coordinator in the district making sure that whatever you all are doing, get to the goal of the district. Because, the one thing we don't want to do is have splintered programs, going in different directions. So we just need.
Yeah, I come out of a venture tech background as well. And so the reason I've got this resource, and my goal is to help get the $10 million, make the introductions to the experts to roll this out.
So if I understand this, basically we're pursuing a grant opportunity for the Move Out. Any other questions about the presentation? All right, well, this is the night for that. Take a motion to proceed pursuing the grant for the Move Out tablet and internet program and the STEAM studio program.
So,
Give a second. It's been moved and properly seconded that we approve the program, pursue programs. All in favor, aye.
I did want to just one thing we did say with our program that implemented in the district, part of it, we'd like a formal evaluation to come back to that will affect effectiveness or whatever happened as a result of, the implementation of the program.
Yeah,
And then also, there's some compliance related to this, right? So I have to mention it. And incorporate.
yeah, that'll be incorporated.
Okay. All right, any other discussion?
Another question. Those who signed up for the staffing, it requires internet in their home, correct?
No, it actually is internet on the device. It requires internet on, the internet is on the device.
Okay.
So when you get it, it turns on, onto AT&T side, you network the same way cell phone.
Okay.
So at the Beyond the Backpack event, you
Yeah.
did sign up folks for that.
Yeah, we built a website, got them over there. I don't get the metrics back from, from the government because it takes a few, they say 10. currently we've had 200 plus people start the process. It'll take a little while. I firmly believe we can do 2 to 5,000 in the community. This is also open, essentially, Norman School Collective Collaborative is sponsored. If their family qualifies, they're able to do this as well, essentially. You know,
There's a motion on the floor, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same privilege. The ayes have it. Thank you, Mr. Hurd. 7.03, leave space, office space, Wood. Okay,
Present proposal for the furniture. Central Hall. The proposal is from the vendor of the space. Determining what furniture is needed for the remaining spaces. I believe this will be probably the last furniture program. The terms and conditions of the proposal are the same as been for the previous proposal. It would be available in December when we're getting ready to move in the furniture and make it. Take a little bit of back and forth, decide what equipment, what furniture needs to go where, has to be arranged, so we can get close. Get the final, yeah, this is what we need for the programs. And we're trying to get this ready for them, move it in without any storage fees, because we don't have to get it, say, 6 months, pay storage fees. Proposal list for $167,944. Classrooms, desk and band room, band director's office, practice chairs, and practice rooms. Angled wall, as there's central hall and the west hall, there's an office teacher room.
Mr. Wood, any questions, Mr. Wood?
The project,
They need to move the furniture in, December. It's about Central Hall.
I thought Central Hall had a project there.
I think that's a substantial completion, but I don't think the district is going to start using it. So.
Any other questions? All right, with that, I'll entertain a motion to it's been moved and properly seconded that we approve the proposal as presented. Hearing none, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same privilege. The ayes have it. Thank you, Mr. Wood. Ms. Pearson.
Good evening, everyone. I want to thank you again for allowing us. Parents, alumni, and community member. We're stepping into a new school year, so hopefully positive attitudes. Coming up on 100 year for, and we're definitely going to celebrate images and comments. This is a great community, if not, you all. Positive attitude motivate the babies to be who they say.
Thank you, Ms. Pearson. Ms. Williams.
Thank you. I want to say, of course, congratulations to Dr. Taylor. I met her about 20 years ago, and she was just like she did. Big wear and tear. Tiffany's looking at me as if she doesn't believe it. Look like that, really. Then there's, and I have to say congratulations to Allison. Chef O'Bannon was saying that they went from New York. Because Alex said yes. But Chef O'Bannon had the wheel. And on the publication, Dr. Triplett said, made a point of saying we're all in this together. Of course, teachers teach children, but transportation brings them. Nurses treat them. Facilities department makes their environment clean, and every one of us is needed. I've got to pitch in and get this.
Ms. Williams. Mr. Humphrey.
I just want to say thank you because the convocation, I think, was a great start to this school year. Thank you to everyone from the actual concept to the implementation, to everyone that played a part in it. I thought it was a very successful event, and it helped to set the tone for the school year. You know, at the end of the day, it's all about full accreditation and getting. And the message coming out of central office was consistency. It means doing the same, you know, if it was successful today, you repeat it tomorrow, you keep repeating success. If you get it today and it didn't work, go find something else to do. You know, because at the end of the day, it's about the consistency, and I personally want to get us off the bottom of the list when it comes to accreditation. So that starts with everybody having a common focus around how to do what's in the best interest of our children to achieve that. And we have to be very relentless about that until we get what we're looking for. So at this point, thank you to everyone. You know, thank you to all the new leadership. Some I know, some I haven't met yet, but I do appreciate all of the work that's beginning to set up this particular school year. I would also, my final comment would be around communication. Because I think it's really critical when parents contact schools, when parents contact administrators, parents contact individuals within the district, that we're sensitive to that communication and that we're timely to it to the point, because that helps to set the tone and the framework around how we collectively come together to do the work. And so I just wanted to say that as a part of consistency, let's make sure that we're handling our business the way we need to handle it.
Thank you, Mr. Humphrey. Ms. Taylor.
Thank you once again to each and every one of you all who voted for the new board members. I do want to say saw how normally schools collaborative came together. Everyone had one thing in mind, and that was to do what they can for the children. On yesterday, I was really impressed. I was kind of shocked. I said, because they did their thing. So I can see that we all have the same thing in mind. I wish that we could have more parental or parents come out to these meetings so that they can see exactly what's going on in the board. And on Saturday, I had an opportunity, as I was doing my volunteer work, I was saying to them, we have a meeting on the second Tuesday of every month. Come to the board meeting, get involved in it. Don't just come to get the book bag. I didn't say it to them, but that's what I'm thinking to myself. Don't just come to get the book bag and then go home and then just leave it there. Be a part of the school district, and so continue to focus on. I saw this on the internet the other day, and I wrote it down, and I said, I'm gonna give you all this. It came from Walter E. Williams, and he said, for someone to do well in school, somebody has to make a child go to bed on time. Somebody has to wake him, make him go to sleep on time. Somebody needs to wake him up on time in the morning. Somebody needs to make him breakfast. And then somebody needs to make him mind the teacher. If those things are not done, it does not matter. What I took from that, and the reason I wrote it down is because I say this all the time, it really does take a village to raise a child, and so it takes all of us. As a board member, I'm not an educator, but I am very concerned about children. You all know, I have 7 grandchildren. I know I look young for my age. 7 grandchildren, and I do have, just recently, had a great-grandson. And he was premature. And so my whole life has been based on making sure that my grandchildren do the very best that they can in school. And so I just want to say, keep up the good work. We're here to stay together, and we work together. We are going to go top. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Taylor. This week was particularly inspiring for me to be in Normandy. We had the Beyond the Backpack event, which was a phenomenal event. And then we had convocation, which was very energizing. And I want to start by saying thank you to my fellow board members because your service and your dedication is noticed. And you being there, you being present, I often find myself unworthy of being amongst you all because of your commitment and your dedication. So, thank you. Thank you to Dr. Triplett, your staff, your cabinet, teachers, your custodians, everybody in your organization showed up and showed out this week. And I think that's a precursor to and prophetic of what is to come this year. And so I'm looking very forward to that. That each of you take some of the themes that was articulated during the convocation. It is being a champion, synonymous with leader. And being a champion is, there's a success equated to doing something consistent. And that implies that you're doing something good. Because if you do something consistently bad, you're going to lead to failure. So having a good attitude, having dedication, commitment, and love here is what's necessary for us to consistently show and be successful. If you find someone drifting away from that with a bad attitude or something contrary to excellence, do your part to course correct that out of love and service. And if you do that, I think I know we'll be very successful this year and years to come. So thank you to each and every one of you, and please keep up the good work. So this time, I'd like to yield to Dr. Michael. Yes.
Good evening, board, and the 2 events, Saturday and Monday, were amazing, huge success. So I truly want to congrats to the Beyond Housing who ensured that Saturday was a huge success. And I want to make sure I applaud Ms. Lauren, who convocation committee with, to make sure that the convocation was a success. At the Beyond House, I was able to meet my new buddy, Amy, who's our golf girl. Love that lady. Absolutely phenomenal spirit. I think she's the number one academic. And so she actually, she's actually, I saw her on TV today, so she's being celebrated today. Also, congrats to Allie. She sent me a text on July 10th about success, and I texted her back. I appreciate it, and I love her for reaching out to me and letting me know that what she had done. She just began her first day of 9 days of professional development in the district. Went 7 locations to make sure that professional development and participation was taking place in every building. In our department, typically, our job alone, Dr. Spray, helping with professional development. There's a lot of learning, teaching and learning going on with teachers and staff around how to support children better. Get data from the state, but it's not the kind of data we can report out on in terms of our performance is should be. So there's a lot of data we have to look at to make sure most assign the APR points. So stay tuned, that probably won't happen. The district has quite a bit of MOU, so we're working with Beyond Housing to clean that up. And one of the, I'm glad you brought that up. We have approximately 3,000 students. We have over 65% stuff that's not value add for our children. Everything we do has to be purposeful. We can't just accept it just because people want to give it to us. Beyond Housing has done a phenomenal job with Dr. Brooks and his staff. They're trying to shrink that number more so we won't have duplicate services to our students. And so they're working hard to make sure that we're also in the process of creating our strategic planning committee. We should be sending out invites this month, toward the end of this month, so that we can start that process around strategic planning. Student advisory committee will look like it was. Talk about it, I'm glad board member Taylor said, mentioned about those who don't work for normally schools collaborative, but they work with schools collaborative. And I want them to understand that they work with us. It's all of our jobs to get parents in these seats. So I challenge every school, challenge every teacher. I know every teacher can depend on at least one parent to get to these board meetings, come to these community forums, and just have these kind of conversations. So my pressure, I'm going to take the pressure off of me, pressure on the principals. With their staffs, start getting parents out to some of these community forums and these. I want us to take away the excuse that it's one of the shades in the world, because what other time can we have a board meeting? Can have it. And unapologetic, we have to have them, and we have to have them at a time where we can participate in them. Teachers don't get off. Say all day so that they can thrive in these meetings. So we have to hold our community just as accountable as our whole staff is accountable. Let's get parents out more, parents really hear that. I don't have a problem walking down the street with a sign saying, if that's what it takes to get people in this board meeting, then that's what we'll do. Thank you for your participation up until now. Thank you for your participation. And I truly, truly appreciate everyone who came to this board. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Triplett. Any questions? Hearing none, we have to move to an exec session to deal with some personnel matters. So therefore, I would entertain a motion to adjourn to exec session.
Just before we do that, is there a plan upstairs?
Oh, yes, so we had planned to have a construction update. We'll move that to the next meeting and we'll have a robust, comprehensive status of property and its construction that's taking place in the district. Thank you for that, William. With that, I'll entertain a motion to move to exec session.
So moved. Second.
Ms. Clemens, can you call us out?
Ms. Williams? Yes. Mr. Humphrey?
Yes.
Ms. Taylor? Yes. Mr. Roberts?
Yes. All right. If you all will call Mr. Campbell to the room where we're having the exec session, we can move in swift and short order. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.